You're known as a piano player, and the piano's missing from this album. Why is that?
Oh, jeez, I didn't know. I had a half deliberate, half. We brought a piano in there, just never used it. My theory is if you don't bring it with you, you know you're going to need it. But sometimes if the stuff that you bring, you don't necessarily use in the studio. It seemed to work out just fine without it, so we kept it out.
I've heard you use the potato euphemism before in interviews to describe making a song. Can you explain that a little bit for me?
Well, some of them just grow, and then they're harvested. Grow. Some of them are growing in you like a tumor. Really, when you think about it, pearls are really just tumors, that's formed inside the oyster. So you could very easily tell a woman that you really like her tumors, in reference to her pearls. It's one of the most beautiful collections of tumors I've ever seen. So I don't know, what were we talking about?
You were talking about potatoes as songs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, songs grow. You want something living, don't you, on record. That's the whole idea. You're trying to, you want to be dancing while there's nobody watching and have a certain kind of wildness to it. But, kids write 100 of them every day and throw them away. So, we get all precious about it. What's that about?
What is that about?
I don't know. Maybe it's just, it's an overinflated sense of importance about oneself and one's products.
So you don't have that feeling about the work that you do? I mean, you've been doing this for a very long period of time, and I mean, everybody that I know holds you in very high esteem.
Mm.
Do you feel that the work that you do is important, that it's sacred?
See, I don't know if it's sacred, but, it's after a while, it kind of becomes part of the cycle, that you're on, and, it becomes part of what you do,
On the album Real Gone, there are a couple of tracks when I was listening to it where I just started to think about the Black American singers recorded by Alan Lomax in the prisons and plantations in Southern America in the 30s and 40s.
Oh, yeah.
Had you been listening to those Lomax recordings? Or because it really struck me, I just kind of went, your voice is so distinctive, but there were a couple of tunes where I was like, wow, that really, really seems to be very similar to some of those Lomax recordings.
Well, hey, I'm really happy that it's finally been released. That's all Library of Congress recordings and Smithsonian recordings. I'm glad they're out there. Folks can hear them, and it's becomes part of your education, and I think it's, they're like relics. A lot of the fact that we recorded outside, I think, just added to the mythology of it. And the equipment was very crude, and part of the charm and the sound and the feel of the music is in the fact that the equipment was very crude, because the equipment's part of the recording itself. It becomes part of the music.
So did you say that you had recorded some of the tracks on Real Gone outside?
No, we recorded some in the bathroom. We started, like everybody.
Not everybody records their songs in the bathroom.
No, maybe you find a room that sounds good, It may be the bathroom, it may be the kitchen, maybe a storeroom or something. I think I like rooms that weren't designed as studios, because just like I like certain sound sources, unusual sound sources that are become experimental musical instruments. It's great if you go to a hardware store and buy a can, or a bucket or and then you bring it home and you hit it. You're also giving that bucket an opportunity to be in show business.
That's very true. There's an amazing busker in Melbourne where I live. He's a street busker, and on a certain street corner every day, you can see him. He's playing ice cream containers. He's drumming on ice cream containers.
Yeah.
He makes a fantastic sound with those ice cream containers.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah. There's a guy on Times Square that does that. Yeah, I think that there must be a network of them. Maybe you saw the guy in New York and said, hey, I can do it down here. I'm the only one.
You were once quoted as saying, Tom Waits, that you wrote new songs because you were sick of the old ones.
Yeah.
Is that still the case?
I don't know any other reason. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know when it's time to make a bunch of new ones because you're tired of the old tunes, you know? I mean, I think everybody's that way.
There's a song on the new album. It's called Day After Tomorrow, and it was a song that I understand you contributed to a compilation album that supports a change of government in America.
All right, yeah. You know, I have to be careful about that because I've been told there's certain things I can and cannot say about the government with regard to that recording and the money that it will generate and what it will be used for and all this. So
Are you serious? Who told you that you can't talk about it?
Oh no, I mean I can talk about the song. It's just that that it's an organization that the money is being used. It's a political thing, so it's there's certain restrictions on how you can discuss it in the press.
I can't imagine Tom Waits ever agreeing to being censored or being...
Well, this is what I just read this just today, you know, so and I haven't really finished, I haven't really absorbed it, so but I could talk about the song, you know.
Well, the song itself is about a soldier?
Well, yeah, it's a letter home, you know, from a soldier, yeah.
And it's a song, I suppose, that, you know, is right for the times. I mean, you know, in Australia and in America, there are people who are still in Iraq.
Yeah, right. And I've got kids that are draft age, and it's a troubling time we were all living through. And, you know, it was written to try and, be a song about the Civil War or Vietnam War, or just war, you know, a war song, you know. So that's what we were trying to do.